Go Time, episode 3.5 about Game of Thrones. And you might be confused as to why it's 0.5. So I'll just explain that quickly and then we'll get into it.
Please do. I'm confused as well.
I thought you might be. So we want these episodes to be short, around 30 minutes, like the Origin episode. And we'll just wedge them in midweek on a Wednesday.
Not every Wednesday, like every now and then.
Yeah. When we have something we want to talk about, which is spoiler-based, we'll do a 0.5 episode. The reason I want to do this is because I listen to podcasts a lot of the time, and it really bothers me when I start listening to a podcast and they're like, oh, by the way, this one's going to be about spoilers, so if you don't want to hear spoilers, don't listen. And then you're like, oh, well, fuck, I've got to wait another week for an episode now. And we don't want to do that to our listeners, so we want these to be like an extra bonus thing for people who are interested in the topic that we're talking about. And then those who don't want to hear the spoilers can come back later and still get their episode for that week.
Yeah.
Which is why we want to keep them short, because we also have other episodes to record.
Yeah. Also, if there's just a topic we want to talk about that doesn't really fit within the theme of the entire podcast.
We don't think it'll be an entire episode.
Yeah. Just something we want to get off our chest, something like that. That's what the 0.5s are for.
Yeah, definitely.
So, episode, what am I talking about? It's Go Time.
It's Go Time, yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
I forgot what we were talking about for a second.
Yeah. So, season 7 ended, must have been a week ago, a couple of weeks ago?
I think about a week ago, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Maybe a bit longer when this goes up, so...
Time ago, it finished.
It has finished. We gave you some time to catch up. So if you haven't yet, then don't listen, obviously.
Come back at a later date.
Yeah, there's a whole point in doing this.
What do you think of this season?
Well, is it safe for spoilers now?
Yeah, we said right at the beginning.
Okay,
spoilers.
safe for spoilers. If you haven't left now, it's your own fault.
Yeah.
If you're like taking a shit and you left the podcast on in another room, then I'm sorry. But, you could have just pinched it and ran.
Yeah, just pinch it off.
Yeah. So, fucking zombie dragon.
Zombie dragon?
The wall is in fucking rubble.
Well, only like a little tiny section of it.
Enough of it to let an army of fucking White Walkers through. Lord Baelish has finally met his demise, which is brilliant.
His throat is thoroughly just open, it's gaping, there's fucking blood everywhere.
Yeah. There's been many deaths this season, I believe. Yeah. But 2 excellent ones. One right at the end, which everyone wanted for a long time, which is Lord Baelish. And one right at the start, just to show that Arya's a fucking badass. Which was brilliant. Yeah.
Also, there was 2 to show that Daenerys is kind of like walking a very thin line between being a dictator and then like being a champion of the people.
Yeah. Yes.
What was his name? Dickon Tarly.
Yeah, Dickon.
And his fucking asshole father.
Yeah, Samwell's father.
Yeah. But the most shocking thing, which I knew was coming, everyone was like, I didn't see it, but I totally did.
Yeah.
Fucking Daenerys got 6 inches of snow.
Yep. Yeah. It was revealed to be this big thing, and everyone was like, oh my god, I can't believe they're related and everything. But I'm like, I'm sure we figured this out 2 seasons ago. What's going on?
Yeah. No, yeah, the whole relation thing, like, people who read the books first, like, known for a very long time that there's something going on there.
Yeah.
That theory is like a very old theory.
But everyone's saying, oh, theory confirmed. But we saw that scene where Bran was looking into the past.
Yeah.
Ages ago. And it didn't take a lot to piece it together then.
Yeah.
So.
I think the most shocking thing about that is that we knew that it was obviously Rhaegar's son.
Yes.
But the shocking thing is that
he actually fucked Daenerys.
No, I mean, isn't she called Lyanna Stark, isn't she?
Yeah,
his mum?
I think so, yeah.
She wasn't kidnapped and raped, which we kind of had an inkling that it was something more like along the lines of love rather than just crazed rape.
Yeah.
But the shocking thing is that they were married at the time, so he's not even a bastard. He's not a Targaryen bastard or a Stark bastard.
Exactly. He's just...
Which means he has a better fucking claim to the throne than Daenerys.
Just for medieval sexism reasons, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how the line of succession worked, because obviously Rhaegar, I think he was the oldest son.
Yeah.
So just through the line of succession, Jon Snow should be the rightful heir.
Yeah.
But that's not what Daenerys is about at all. She doesn't think that people should have a right to the throne.
It's not going to go down well. I don't think even when Jon finds out and he's like, "Oh, I'm the rightful heir to the throne," he's not the kind of guy that's going to be like,
No, yeah, Jon Snow's not going to give a shit.
"Yeah, exactly." He's going to be like, "Well, I don't give a shit. Can we fight these White Walkers and this fucking zombie dragon?"
I have
a minute.
A theory how it's going to go down. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Because it's a bit...
There's something I want to clarify before we go any further, is that in real life I'm really bad with names, and Game of Thrones has some ridiculous names, so
a lot of characters.
You can expect me to rely on Ash for a lot of the names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I really liked this season. It was... Because it was only 7 episodes, it felt like they didn't have enough time to stand around and just talk.
Yeah.
So there was something always going on.
Yeah, there's always something.
Not that I don't like the slower episodes where people are just talking and there's like politics going on in the background and stuff. I really enjoy those too. But yeah, it was just...
There's a lot of people that are like, "Oh, that wasn't a shit episode. Nobody stabbed anyone.
Yeah, no wars.
They were just stood around talking." And it's like...
But no, yeah, I don't like people like that. It's like... Yeah. Mate, there was stuff going on. It was very subtle and it was very actually really important.
Yeah, very important.
But no, yeah, I really like this episode, this season, and I hope, because they've only got 6 episodes next season, haven't they? That's what I've heard. 6 episodes.
Was it 6 or? No, yeah, it is 6. Yeah.
Sorry. And there's still so much stuff that needs to be resolved.
I know.
And
it's gonna be amazing.
It's like every episode's gonna have some resolution to a storyline. Yeah. There's got to be some conclusion in every episode. But I'm looking forward to it.
Can't believe they're cutting it short so early. You look at shows like Walking Dead that are dragging the story out like
but Walking
crazy.
Dead don't spend $10 million per episode.
Well, yeah, true. But I mean, it still makes money. It still gets people turning the TV on.
Yeah.
Just like Game of Thrones does. But they're so like, I have so much respect for HBO for being like, okay, we're gonna cut it. Now we're gonna really put everything we've got into giving it the finale it deserves, and then we're gonna stop there. Although there is plans for a spin-off.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the time with, I think there's like 4 ideas for a spin-off.
Yeah,
and one of them is going to be a spin-off.
I don't know if I want that.
I hope it's... No, I do, because I really enjoy the whole universe of Game of Thrones. But I hope it's about characters that are appealing, like Brienne of Tarth and Podrick. They've got a really nice dynamic. Yeah. It's got to be about a character that was good enough, like really interesting, but not a main actor, like a main character of the series. So none of this like Jon Snow struggling with incest babies after the war. Nothing like that. It's got to be about a character I enjoy.
Incest babies.
Well, yeah.
It's gonna have some crazy incest.
Because there's that whole thing she kept saying over and over again that she couldn't have babies. It was a very it wasn't just like a passing remark either. They brought it up in a few episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Jon said something about.
It was
and you believed her, did you?
Yeah. Winter is coming.
The dead are walking again. What makes you think you can't make babies?
Yeah. But there was this thing in, I don't know if she said it in the series, but there was something, she said the woman that cursed her in the books said something very vague about death and life, and how only in death can new life be made or something like that. And so people are thinking that because her dragon just died and she treated them like children, it's made way for a new baby that can be born, or because Jon Snow's died and been reborn.
Is it like Pokemon? You can only have 6 Pokemon with you at a time. You can only have 3 children, so one of them's got to die so you can have another one.
This isn't even part of this episode. We saved that for another episode. You and your bloody Pokemon. See, the theory is that maybe because Jon's died or her, dragons died, that she can now have children.
Yeah.
Which would be very weird. But I mean, it's not that weird because the Targaryens have been marrying the sisters for a long time and, to keep the line pure.
Yeah, that's a bit... just how the world works in Game of Thrones, I suppose.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then they probably don't like it when Cersei and Jaime are going at it, and it's like, come on, man, leave them alone. The Targaryens did it.
Yeah, but I think the Targaryen line lost a lot of respect with the Mad King. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they had much respect to begin with. They were very much dictators. Did you know? Have you read the whole or watched a video about the whole how they came over from? I forgot where they came over from some island somewhere with the dragons and just destroyed Westeros and took the throne.
No, that would be a good spin-off.
Yeah, no, yeah, I was saying that to someone the other day. That'd be a good spin-off. But yeah, no, they basically just like fucking waltzed on over with little dragons, and then just like, yo, we're the kings of this place now, and everyone was like, no, get fucked. And then they just fucking
like, you get fucked.
just burnt the land, and then obviously they went north, and the leader of House Stark at that point, I forgot his name, but they call him like the king who knelt or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you realise that everyone's just been decimated.
Yeah.
And gave up basically and allied himself with the Targaryens.
Yeah.
Which is why the Starks are the Wardens in the north.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so they're very much dictators. Very much.
I liked that scene in the Colosseum where they found what was it called, the dragon pit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that was where they were keeping all the dragons, and like they were just trophies basically. They didn't need them for war anymore because they scared everyone into submission. So they just kept all these dragons in a big Colosseum, chained up and malnourished, and then they were smaller and smaller with every breed. Yep. And they found the tiny dragon skeleton.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
I want someone to like pick it up and like implement it into their armor or something. Just have a dragon skull on their arm or something. That'd be awesome.
I won't put that past Daenerys.
That whole scene though was amazing. I don't think we've ever had like a bigger meeting of all the characters in the series before, and like they've totally teased that Clegane bullshit going on where Sandor the Hound and Gregor the Mountain like face to face. And like Sandor was like basically teasing everyone that the fight's gonna happen. He's gonna have to kill his brother.
Did you say his mum?
No, I don't know. I was gonna say brother and then something else.
Oh, right, okay.
Like brother and then man or something. But my brain just couldn't get it out fast enough. So yeah, Clegane Bowl was teased, and then what's his face? Euron Greyjoy. Fucking try to rile people up.
Yeah, and nobody was having it.
And no one was having it. And then he fucking ran off.
Yeah.
Because of the dead. I loved Cersei's face when she saw that fucking White Walker. They're not White Walkers, they're just whites. Like how it just charged straight at her and it was like gnashing its teeth and shit.
Yeah.
She was
that was
visibly
really
scared.
Cool.
It was amazing. Because we've never seen that face before.
Yeah, she's always got resting bitch face.
Yeah.
So.
She's always got a really stony facade.
Yeah.
And then she was visibly shaking.
You would love to slap.
I'd love to slap her face and other parts. I really like that. George R. R. Martin is a really good fucking writer. I always say like George R. R. Martin makes like one good book every decade, and then you've got Stephen King who makes like one good book out of like 500 he made that year.
Yeah.
It's all about quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm. But I think he would agree with that as well.
I think most people would, because Stephen King he's got some good books, but the rest that he makes that year, like the next 5 or 10, are shit.
Yeah. Is he still making books?
I think so. I don't know.
I just know Stephen King. Fuck me. I just know Stephen King as having written classics.
Yeah.
I know he's written a lot of books.
The thing is about those classics is like it was a diamond like in a pile of shit that had already been eaten as it was shit, and then reshot out again.
Yeah.
But anyway, I like the fact that George R. R. Martin made Jaime and Cersei unlikable characters, but that wasn't enough for him. They had to be fucking incestuous and fucking each other and shit like that, and then push a kid out of a window.
But it's crazy how they'll present these characters as absolute pricks, and you'll hate them for seasons, and then they'll put them in a situation where you can't help but like them.
Like Jaime now.
Like Jaime now.
Yeah.
And when Cersei was going through that shit where she was having shit flung at her walking through the city, and for like 2 episodes you started to like her, and then she got back and she was just being a major bitch again.
I don't know. I think Cersei is probably one of the only characters in Game of Thrones other than the Night King. I think that's his name, the big White Walker guy.
Yeah, I just don't know whether it's Night with a K. In fact, I saw it written as Night's King with an S.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's probably more about the time of day rather than the occupation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think she's like one of the only characters in Game of Thrones aside from him who is irredeemable. Like, there's nothing she can do to be a good person anymore. Yeah. And I don't think she wants to. She's like very much like a true evil type. Yeah. I mean, she's got her motivations, but it's all about greed and power. So she's not a very likable person.
Yeah, definitely. Well, there was Joffrey as well, who just...
No, yeah, Joffrey was evil incarnate.
Redeemed.
I don't want evil incarnate who was ignorance and like inexperience and all that shit just rolled into one. He was basically just a kid.
It was a bit.
Who was never told no. He was like probably
spoiled brat.
very spoiled.
Yeah. On an extreme level. It's just a character that everybody knows from their personal life times a million.
People were saying like they wanted to see him die, but when he did die, it was really extreme and they were shocked. I was like, I fucking loved every second.
Yeah.
When his eyes
it should have been worse.
Yeah, when his eyes just rolled away from each other, I was like, you fucking bog-eyed bastard. Choke on it. But yeah, the fucking characters in this show are they're amazing.
Tyrion's fantastic.
There's a really good article you should read about some mathematicians / scientists applied like game theory to the Game of Thrones, and they made a network of characters, and Tyrion was like the most networked character. He'd met the most people, and therefore like he is the most important character in the series.
Well, I do feel like that. I feel like he's been to the most places. He's had the most experience.
Yeah. It's probably going to end where he's sat on the throne because everyone else is dead.
That would be pretty cool. I don't think anyone would complain about that. Well, a few people.
No, he's like
people complain no matter what the.
I was going to say he's the only good Lannister, but that's not true because Jamie's he's really good, but his sister's really good at manipulating like his lesser parts his lesser parts as in penis, but also lesser parts as in like his greed or something like that.
Yeah.
She's really good at manipulating Jaime. Because without her, when he was off with Brienne.
Well, he really cares about family, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think all Lannisters do, but in different ways.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
But when Jaime was off with Brienne, when he was like basically her prisoner, like he was away from Cersei long enough that her effect kind of wore off a bit.
Yeah,
and like his true character came through, and he was caring and stuff like that. And he tried to protect Brienne when they were kidnapped by that the Boltons guys on it.
Yeah.
Because they were going to make a fight to the death with a bear or something. I think they did do it. Or they were going to do something, and he was basically trying to bargain for her life, saying that she's the daughter of a wealthy lord or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really sweet.
Yeah, it was cool. Apparently Ramsay Bolton's still alive in the books.
Well, the books haven't. We've got beyond the books now.
Yeah,
the last thing that happened in the books, John died. People in the the people who read the books are still waiting to know whether John died or not.
I didn't know that. I thought this season had just passed the books.
Yeah, so like the Battle of the Bastards hasn't happened because John's not been resurrected.
Okay. What if he's never resurrected?
No, I believe he will.
Well, no, because here's the thing. In the books, what is it? Is his name Aegon Targaryen?
What, John?
Yeah, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the books, that's a completely different guy.
Oh, Aegon Targaryen?
Aegon Targaryen, he's got another name. I can't remember what it is. It's like Little something. It's probably not even that. But he met Tyrion on the boat to Dawn. This could be completely wrong, but that's what I read. There was another character that is Aegon Targaryen.
There's been a few Aegon Targaryens because the Targaryens are very like, especially Rhaegar believes in like prophecies and stuff like that, and he believed that because he's had children before with his other wife.
Yeah.
When he was married to Ilia Martell, I think she was called. Mm-hmm. He had children with her. They obviously got killed, and his first son was called Aegon.
Yeah.
Because he believed that his first son would be Azor Ahai.
Yeah.
The prince that was promised.
Which is what John's supposed to be.
I think it is going to be happening. That ties into my theory. My theory is, I think it's long enough now that...
Well, 20 minutes in.
We're 20 minutes in. Long enough now that I can explain my theory. I think, right, because in the books they explain that Azor Ahai forged a blade to fight the darkness, and it wasn't a very strong blade, so he went back and he forged it again for like 100 nights and 100 days.
Yeah.
And it still failed, and so he forged a final blade, but then he realised that it needed to like taste blood, but like also like some sort of like massive emotional distress. And so he called his wife into his blacksmithing area thing, that's what it's called. And he told her to bare her chest, so she ripped her top open, and he just plunged the sword straight through her heart. And it finally made the sword strong enough to fight the darkness. And so I think something similar is going to have to happen between Daenerys and Jon Snow.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And I think that'll be why, like, if Jon Snow ends up on the throne, that'll be why. Because he's had to kill Daenerys to kill
That's a great theory.
the Night King.
It's way better than the theory that fucking Bran is the Night King.
It makes no sense, that theory. The theory is that he wants to prevent them from ever being made before, like in the past. So he's going to go back to when they were being made, because we've already seen that the Children of the Forest stabbed that guy on that tree.
Yeah.
And he's going to try and walk into him or something like that, and he's going to get stuck inside the Night King's body for thousands and thousands of years. And it's like, first off, we've seen him travel back in time and try to walk into Hodor.
Yeah, which he could only do because Hodor, his brain wasn't as developed or something. It was basically the same level of
you can't really think too much about it because it's full of paradoxes. But I mean,
yeah.
And he walked into him, but it fucking pickled Hodor's brain.
Yeah.
But we've not seen any indication that he can travel back in time wherever the fuck he wants and stuff like that. So, and first of all, he's a three-eyed raven, right? So he knows what's going to happen, like in the past, in the future, what's happening right now, all over the place.
Yeah.
So of course he knows that he's going to get fucking stuck there. I mean, you can make the argument that it's kind of like the Prime Directive in Star Trek. He can't manipulate, he can't interfere and stuff like that. But I believe there's still a little bit of Bran stuck in there, because when they were going to do that, when they were going to put Arya on trial, but ended up being Littlefinger instead.
Mm-hmm.
Littlefinger was like, you can't even prove it, that dagger belongs to me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then Bran spoke up and was like, actually, I've seen it. So I still think there's a little bit of Bran in there, because if he wanted about manipulating the time and stuff like that, he wouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
So I think that theory like falls flat on its ass. It's not a very good theory.
Yeah, because Littlefinger,
it's a good idea.
Wouldn't have been convicted.
It's a good idea that Bran is the Night King, but I mean, it's not a good theory.
Yeah.
If it was any other story, then I would have been all for it, but not this one.
Yeah, I think people saw like the slightest chance that it could have been that way, and then just pulled the thread a bit too much.
There's three arguments I've seen made, right? One, Bran dresses like the Night King, and I'm like, yeah, but it's basically like a medieval theme, like How many different ways can you wear a gambeson? Seriously. And
if he was the Night King, would he have been like, well, I need to maintain my fashion sense?
Yeah. Like, I've seen that I'm going to become the Night King. I might as well just play into it nerdily. Get ready for the fucking role. I've been playing it for thousands of years. The second one is that when the Whites, all the zombies, walked past the wall, apparently they formed the Stark house sigil, the wolf.
What?
Yeah, I need to go back and watch that. I saw a picture of it, but that could easily be manipulated.
Right.
I need to go back and watch it.
Okay,
apparently,
that's strange.
Apparently they made it. It could have been just an Easter egg.
Yeah.
And the third one is that the actor who plays Bran was asked in an interview.
Yeah, I saw this.
Who he'd like to see on the Iron Throne at the end of the series, and he said, probably as a joke, very much likely it was a joke, the Night King. And people are all like, oh, he knows that he's the Night King.
Yeah.
He's throwing a spoiler at the fans. And I'm like, no, because I'm pretty sure actors that are working on stuff like this have to sign NDAs, so they can't.
Yeah, exactly. He wouldn't be on the show anymore, and he'd be flat broke.
He'd be getting a lot of shit about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that theory is just no. I'm not in that one.
Yeah. I had something else I wanted to talk about, and then we went off on the tangent about Bran being the Night King, and I can't remember what it was. So.
All right.
There's a lot of things that have happened in the entire show.
We've only even talked about season 7.
Yeah, exactly.
We haven't even talked about the other episodes, the other seasons.
I think one of my favourite moments is when Tyrion shot his dad.
Yeah, man, we're just trying to have a shit.
Yeah,
you got fucking crossbowed in the heart.
In the heart.
I don't know, my favourite moment. There's been so many.
There is another favourite moment which I've watched multiple times. Is when the Mountain and Brienne were fighting over Arya.
The Hound.
Yeah, sorry. I was so sure that it was the Mountain. That's why I paused for a moment and looked to the corner of the room. I was like getting my facts straight. The Hound.
The Mountain. Yeah, it's the Hound.
Yeah.
I've got loads of favourite moments. I really liked it when Ned was beheaded because up until that point, I was very much under the impression that he was going to follow like a regular like cliche story.
No, exactly. That's
And
the
then
moment.
His head just got fucking lopped right off, man. I was like, no way. And I've always said to you that I really want a story where people can die and they will get resurrected a few episodes later and stuff like that. Like something that's just totally brutal and to the bone.
Exactly.
And it delivered
really
in that moment.
Down to earth, even.
Yeah, because I really resonate with George R. R. Martin's writing style. Because he's not a pussy. Like, I watched Supernatural and like, what's his name? Sam, one of the brothers, got sent to hell, and then he managed to come back, and I was like, fuck off. And then he's died again. He's come back. I think he's died like 5 times and been resurrected. And I'm just not into that. If a character's gonna die, he's got to die.
Yeah, where's the suspense in that?
Yeah, and I'm only okay with Jon Snow dying and getting brought back to life because like something really significant happened in that moment as well. He didn't just get resurrected because fans wanted him back.
Yeah,
he's got like a purpose and he's got to fulfill that and stuff. Plus, he's just a really interesting character. Yeah, Jon Snow.
But that moment when
knower of nothing,
when Ned gets his head cut off, is the moment when you realise what the show is like, how it breaks normal rules. And
normal like TV show conventions.
And then you're like, holy shit, this show is completely unpredictable, and they'll spend the whole season building up to a plan, and then it'll go in a completely different direction, and that's just something you don't get anymore. The shows are so predictable, and we're the kind of people that'll pick apart a movie while we're watching it.
Yes. And
half the time, we find that movies are poorly written, and we can figure out what's happening after like 10-15 minutes in the worst case. So the reason why we don't like horror films is because the story is just absolute trash in 90% of horror films. Plus, we don't really find them scary, and that's the whole thing. Like, they throw a story out of the window so you can have a few jump scares, but it's not...
They stick to formulas too much. Yeah, and it's just not scary when you know what's going to happen around the next corner.
But Game of Thrones shatters formulas.
I want to say it shatters them all, but it's very good at, like, shattering some of them, and quite a few of them.
No, it's still predictable in some areas.
Yeah. I just like the fact that you don't know from episode to episode if your favourite character is going to die. Yeah. And they're not afraid of killing off people you think are the main characters. Like Red Wedding, mate, they killed off... They killed off Catelyn Stark, Robb Stark, all his army, basically.
His wife.
And his wife that was carrying an unborn child. It was just so brutal. And I've got loads of like favourite parts of the series. I really liked it when Sam killed a White Walker by mistake. That was amazing because he was the only person that did it. I liked it when Jon Snow realised Valyrian steel can also kill him.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, I read something absolutely hilarious the other day. I think you know what I'm going to say. So.
Yeah, Jaime Lannister, if he got a Valyrian steel hand, would be able to
bitch slap the Night King.
Bitch slap the Night King. But yeah, I think a lot of my favourite scenes have come from this series. When that fucking dragon got spiked. Yeah. And then when he brought it out of the ground.
It was just so intense.
See, I knew that was going to happen because in the books, I think someone mentions a story about ice dragons. And when I realised that she was going to go save him, I was like, no way, she's taking all the dragons and the Night King's there. And it did happen. Yeah. I liked it when the Hound threw that fucking rock and he didn't break the ice. Yeah. And he basically fucked them all because of that one thing, because he couldn't sit still for long enough. Yeah. Fucking like so much stuff in this series. It was very good.
It was absolutely...
I've seen people complain that the writing has gone down and like this season was shit. I'm like, fuck off. People complain when there's not much going on, and then they complain when there's too much going on.
People have said that about Rick and Morty. I've seen so many comments of people just complaining that Rick and Morty season 1 and 2 were fantastic, and they spent all this time writing season 3 just for it to fall flat. But I think the first 3 episodes of season 3 were some of the best episodes ever.
Pickle Rick.
I think the ones following on from that haven't, like, they're still really good episodes, and they're not better or worse than other episodes, but they're not as good as the first 3 episodes of this season. So they are better or worse. I don't know why I said that. Ignore that. But they're still good Rick and Morty episodes. You can still enjoy them. You can still be grateful that there's more fucking Rick and Morty. Yeah. I don't know. People like to complain about some really stupid shit.
Definitely. I think there's one episode of Game of Thrones that I didn't like.
Which one?
No, I said I don't think there is
one
episode.
Okay. I thought you said that you think there is one.
No. they've all been good. Like even the really slow ones where it's just there's like a group of people talking in a hall or sat around a table and they're just talking politics. It's interesting because if you follow it along and you don't just tune out
until there's sex or murder.
Yeah, you can kind of see like what's about to happen, like which force is making which moves and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And it because one thing that you always say, especially with video games, is you like to be clued in. If there's going to be a twist, you want there to be hints that there's a twist there.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones is very subtle in the build up to the twist, but if you pay attention to the politics, you can sort of get an idea of which direction things are moving in, and then you can start to build your own theories and maybe figure out the twist, which is a very satisfying thing.
It's just good writing. Like if you're writing a mystery novel, right, and you don't give the person who's reading,
the same clues that you're getting.
Yeah, like enough clues to figure it out before the conclusion.
Yeah.
And right at the end, you're all like, aha, it was this person who you like never referenced in writing whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly.
It's terrible writing.
Uh-huh.
You've got to leave a little breadcrumb trail.
Yeah,
is what I'm trying to say, for the viewers, so they can figure it out before your conclusion, or and it makes them feel good, and it's good writing.
Yeah.
But a lot of shows don't do that, and I think Game of Thrones does, especially. It's very, very subtle, and if you can pick up on it, you can predict what's to happen.
That in a show like Game of Thrones, where there's a lot going on, there's a lot to keep track of, and you need to be really on point to sort of figure out what's going to happen. When it does happen, it's even more satisfying than if you're watching some mystery drama.
Yeah.
And you go, aha, I knew it, and that's it. Like watching Dexter and being like, oh, I knew he'd die.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm clever, me. I knew he'd die.
Yeah. But when he's on the chopping table already, he's going to die in 5 minutes later. I told you. Yeah, this season I thought was really strong. I really enjoyed it. And that last episode like had me gasping like every 5 minutes.
Definitely.
Something was going to happen. When I thought Tormund was going to die, I was like, no fucking way. Tormund can't die. He's the coolest ginger in the world.
Yeah, he's so cool. Well, my girlfriend had never watched Game of Thrones before, and I can see why. She's kind of squeamish about violence, so I never like pushed her to watch it.
She can't watch that scene where...
Yeah, exactly. The Oberyn Mountain scene.
Yeah, where he gets his head just...
Yeah, exactly. So I've never even tried to get her to watch it, but I was watching an episode, I think the first episode of this season, and she didn't know anything that happened before it. She's never seen an episode. She's never read articles about it or anything. But just from that first episode, she was hooked and had to finish the season with me.
Oh, I hope she watches all the others.
Well, what I've been saying to her is because she doesn't have much to do while we're recording the podcast, is she should watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I've watched
what she should do,
seasons 1 to 5 twice, so I don't really want to go through it again because it's a lot of time.
I do.
Well, I do, but I don't have the time.
I think I've watched them all like 3 times. But yeah, what she should do is she should watch one episode a week.
Well, don't tell me, tell her. She'll be listening.
Well, all right, Candice. What you should do is watch one episode a week.
And by the time you're done, you'll get to season 8.
By the time you finish, season 8 will be just around the corner. So you can just have a nice continuous thing. Or just binge watch them.
Yeah.
It's up to you, really, Candice.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we're done. Is there anything?
No, we can talk more about the previous seasons, but there's so many. That should be like a whole episode in itself.
I don't want to drag it out too much as well, because there's a thing that really bothers me. When I was doing research for us starting up our podcast, I saw that 70% of podcasts are just people watching Game of Thrones and then coming to record a podcast to talk about what they thought about it.
Yeah.
Like, what is the audience for that? Can you not make up your own opinions about a show? You have to go and listen to a podcast about...
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to drag this out and just be one of those podcasts, basically.
Yeah.
It's just a bit ridiculous.
Definitely. But yeah, I don't want to talk about the other seasons either, because, they happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
And there's so many that it should be a main episode if we ever do that. So yeah, pretty much we've said everything we need to say about this season.
Yeah. So we'll probably do some more 0.5 episodes, especially if we watch a film that we want to talk about spoilers.
Yeah.
Thor's coming out soon. I'll probably want to do a podcast about that when it comes out.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know if I'm going to watch it.
What do you mean? You'll have to come with me.
Well, this will be for like another episode, but like the superhero trends dying
Yeah,
out.
we're going to do an episode about the superhero trend. But I don't know, Guardians of the Galaxy is like, well, it's my favourite film.
No, I really love
films.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
And Thor looks like it's going to feed off of the popularity of that.
I think it's getting a bit stale. I'm getting a bit fatigued with it all. But,
no, I agree.
That's another episode.
Yep, definitely.
Thanks for listening.
Yep, we really appreciate that.
We appreciate it.
We're not going to do a creative challenge at the end of this because it's 0.5 episode. We want to keep them short and sweet. There will still be a creative challenge with the Friday episode.
However, if you are working on something while listening to this, obviously, you know,
if you're ever listening to one of our podcasts and you're working on something while you do it, we want to see what it is. We want to see what you've accomplished while listening. Yeah. So tweet that at UT2cast on Twitter. Also, if you're listening to this on YouTube, you probably don't know that we have a website now where we host our audio-only podcasts. That is ut2cast.podbean.com. We update that at the same time we update the YouTube, basically. So,
all right,
check it out. Subscribe, register, whatever you need to do on there. I don't know.
See you in the next episode.
See you in episode 4.